You've been drifting, not from inability but from choice, moving through days with hands folded while opportunities passed, watching small chances slip by as comfortable patterns settled in, and the slow erosion of purpose began to hollow the life you pretended was steady and whole. You know the moments when the pull to act arrived and you delayed, swallowing words that should have been spoken, letting responsibility cool on the shelf while you argued with fear, convincing yourself tomorrow would soften consequence, though consequence only hardened at every postponement. And slowly, almost without noticing, you became passive, not lazy or weak but withdrawn, a man who learned to let life happen around him, letting others set pace and measure while he traded edge for ease, compromise for comfort, and purpose for pale routine. You surrendered your edge one small concession at a time, each compromise a softening that accumulated until the man you recognized in the mirror felt distant, shadows gathering where clarity once lived, the map of your life blurred by convenience and unexamined surrender. You told yourself it was temporary, that waiting meant wisdom, that fatigue or timing excused inaction, and those excuses dressed as reasons became believable lies, slowly convincing you to pause the march while life continued to carve consequences where promises once stood. What you lost wasn't opportunity alone, but direction, honor, the sense of why you move, the clarity of purpose that sets posture. Those losses stacked until your trajectory skewed, until the flame that once guided decisions dimmed under a weight you refused to name. Brother, you felt the gnawing, that quiet anger not flung at God or world but turned inward for standing back, for letting embers fade. It's a faithful signal, a restless pulse reminding you the fire needs tending, and the man inside demands honest tending now. Passivity slips in without fanfare, through comfort's small conveniences, through easy choices dressed as rest. It greases the hinges of drift so slowly you fail to hear, until your convictions slacken and the life entrusted to you feels foreign and fragile at once. You've sat with that weight and no negotiation won't free you. Passivity holds fast and must be cut off with sharp decisions, your hands placed back upon the wheel now, refusing the soft counsel of delay and the voice that whispers postponement. Listen, masculinity isn't dominance or noise or posture. It's discipline, the skeletal order you choose when no eyes watch, the responsibility carried when ease calls louder, the quiet custody of purpose that resists relaxation's seductive decline and keeps a man aligned with his calling. That frustration you feel is not shame but fuel, a raw energy refusing complacency, a muscle tremor that signals the soul's refusal to settle for less. Harness it by turning anger toward the real enemy, passivity, so your zeal becomes direction rather than destructive heat. You don't need fake strength or spectacle. You need clarity over distraction, weight over ease, direction rather than drift, and the steady application of small truths until they accumulate. The quiet architecture of habit rebuilding a man whose presence is measured by fidelity, not applause. You will stand, not because readiness sings inside you, but because refusal to remain seated becomes louder than fear. You take the weight because it is yours, choosing structure despite inconvenience, accepting that character forms where discomfort is met and repeated acts become law. Breathe now. Let fullness anchor you. Feel lungs expand and ground receive your weight. This breath not ceremonial but a tactical reset. A single action that steadies heartbeat and attention, preparing you to translate choice into motion and motion into steady, honorable habit. Here passivity ends, not in noise or performance but in the deliberate act of one man choosing. You step, you hold, you carry. And in that carrying your life recalibrates, rhythms return, and the people tethered to you begin to sense steadiness replacing drift. In the next breath, words become vows and hesitation snaps. Your silence finds voice as prayer begins to lace intention with divine weight, transforming private choice into covenant. And the small fidelity you practice becomes the backbone of a life that cannot be easily unmade. So stand here, decide, place hands back on the wheel, refuse comfort's whisper, and let responsibility burn the fog. The drift ends when action begins, and each steadfast step builds the man you were called to be, honored in quiet duty rather than loud pretense. Stand still, breathe, and prepare. This is not final surrender, but the first ordered move in a fight. We enter prayer now, not for performance, but for warfare against drift, for structure, for courage, and to reclaim the life entrusted to you by God. Now let's pray. Father, I come with nothing hidden. I bring my passivity to the surface, and I refuse to dress it as wisdom any longer. I confess where I delayed, where I drifted, where I silenced myself when I should have spoken and stood. I confess that I traded discipline for comfort. I confess that I allowed distraction to chain me down. I confess that I let my body grow soft, my eyes wander, and my work lose its weight. Father, I lay it bare before you now. I hand you my excuses. I lay down every justification that told me I could wait until tomorrow. I surrender the voice that whispered delay, and I reject the lie that passivity protects me. Father, break those lies in me tonight. I ask you to wash my mind with truth, plant discipline. Where weakness grew, build strength. Where compromise settled, anchor me in the word, in obedience, in self-control. Do not let me return to the hollow habits that kept me shackled. Father, I renounce distraction. I renounce compromise. I renounce laziness and apathy. I reject the spirit that makes me believe I am powerless to change. I reject every whisper that says I am too far gone to rise again. I receive courage in place of fear. I receive discipline in place of chaos. I receive clarity in place of confusion. I receive strength in place of weakness. I receive order where drift tried to scatter me. Father, anchor me in identity as your son. I choose obedience over excuses. I choose consistency over comfort. I choose resolve over delay. I choose to rise when it would be easier to sit. I choose to stand where you place me and remain steady when pressure pushes hard. Father, cleanse my heart. Where I was restless, make me steady. Where I was double-minded, make me whole. Where I was bitter, give me release. Where I was divided, weld me into one man, aligned with your will, unshakable in devotion. I surrender my strength to you. I will not waste it on pride or empire. I give it for service, for protection, for honor. Let my strength build my house, shield my family, guard my brothers, and advance truth that will outlast me. I surrender my work to you. No more empty labor, no more selfish ambition. Let my hands create with purpose. Let my words carry weight. Let my presence bring order where there is chaos, peace where there is unrest, and honor where compromise has lived. Father, restore my courage, not reckless boldness, not shallow pride. Give me true courage that endures when pressure comes, that stands when fear rises, that holds the line when knees tremble, that leads first when others hesitate, and carries quietly without applause. I will guard my family. I will lead them with integrity. I will stand in silence before I speak with noise. I will embody what I confess here. I will not return to passivity, not in secret, not in habit, not in thought. Mark my speech with truth. Mark my eyes with clarity. Mark my mornings with discipline. Mark my time with order. Mark my presence with faithfulness. Mark my decisions with your weight. Mark my boundaries with protection. Mark my strength with surrender to your authority. Father, I receive my identity through Christ, not weakness, not failure, not shame. I am redeemed, chosen, and called. I am anchored in discipline. I am armed with your word. I am strengthened in resolve. I rise as servant and leader under Christ. I renounce the lie that I must prove myself with noise. I renounce the urge to chase applause. I will build in silence, brick by brick, faithful and steady. My discipline will speak my habits, will testify my life, will reveal what I vow. Father, establish my mornings, establish my work, establish my home, establish my words, establish my body, establish my brotherhood. Build me into a man whose steps do not crumble, whose path does not drift, whose voice does not falter under pressure. I seal these words not with performance, but with decision. I seal them not with emotion, but with obedience. I seal them not with noise, but with discipline. This is not temporary resolve, it is covenant. This is not hope, it is direction. Father, let every weakness become an altar. Let every scar remind me of your mercy. Let every temptation sharpen my will. Let every day rebuild what was lost. Let my life testify that drift ends when discipline begins, and passivity dies where faith rises. Amen. Listen, the prayer is sealed. What was spoken stays spoken. What was decided stands. Now comes the walk. This is where words leave the air and settle into your body. This is where you prove that every vow carries weight and reality. You are not a man of empty declarations. You are a man under orders, not suggestions, not preferences. Orders, they define you, they bind you, they carry you. You don't get to argue with them, you carry them out. That is the line you live on now. Your first order, wake with discipline, not with delay, not with comfort. The morning is no longer your enemy, it is your weapon. When your eyes open, hesitation dies. You move, you rise. You put your body under command before the world has a chance to touch it. Your second order, guard your time. Every hour is blood, every minute is strength. You will not scatter it on trivialities. You will not hand it over to distraction. Your time belongs to purpose. Protect it like you would protect your brother in battle. Your third order, let your work speak. Not noise, not performance, not approval. Work that builds, work that lasts. When you put your hands to the task, you build something that does not collapse when the applause fades. Every brick you lay in silence holds weight. Your fourth order, shield your home. Your house is not a shell, it is ground you defend. You guard it against laziness, against apathy, against compromise. You don't just provide, you protect. You set the tone. You carry the order of discipline into every corner of it. Your fifth order, stand for your brothers. Do not leave them uncovered. Do not let them drift while you remain silent. Integrity is not just for your own life. It is the bond that keeps the line from breaking. Where others falter, you step in and hold steady. Your sixth order, endure. Discipline is not a burst of fire, it is steady flame. You will not trade today's strength for tomorrow's regret. You will not bow to fatigue, to weakness, to excuses. You finish what you start. You hold what you claim. You endure when comfort tempts. Remember, you are not free-floating. You are anchored. You are not aimless. You are directed. You are not adrift. You are commanded. Your identity is no longer something you chase. It is something you walk in, every hour, every step, every decision. You leave hesitation at the door. You leave passivity in the grave. What was dead stays buried. You don't walk as the man who once drifted. You walk as the man who stood up when drift tried to own him. That's your edge. That's your distinction. This edge is quiet. It is not for show. It is not for applause. It is the internal mark of a man who knows who he is, who he serves, and why he stands when others bend. It is invisible but heavy, constant, and unbroken. So today, you do not live loosely. You live ordered. You live disciplined. You live bound to purpose and honor. You live as a man who remembers who he is when the world would rather you forget the truth of that calling. Carry it, protect it, enforce it. These are your orders, and you will not break them, not because it is easy, not because it feels good, but because this is who you are now, and it is what defines your path daily. Let these orders shape your mornings and your nights. Let them carve your routines and your instincts. Let them rebuild what compromise eroded. Let them sharpen what passivity dulled. Let them mark you as a man who lives his prayer as reality. Every day is proof. Every choice is witness. This is not occasional fire but steady flame. This is not a passing impulse but a framework. This is not a performance but a life. Walk it until it becomes the only way you move. Do not lose today. Do not waste tomorrow. Guard the minutes. Guard the gates. Guard your brothers. Guard your name. Your life is not a show. It is a testimony. Let your actions write what your words once only spoke with trembling resolve. The prayer is sealed. The charge is given. The ground is yours. Stand up. Carry the weight. Protect the gates. Serve the house. Walk the path. And tomorrow return. Return steady. Return ready. Return to keep building the man you were called to be. Stand up. Move forward. Walk it out. This is not a suggestion. This is your command. This is your life. This is your honor. This is the proof of who you have become and who you will remain when no eyes are watching you at all.